What got me into bodybuilding? Well, I mean, I remember when I was really young looking at, muscle magazines like Muscular Development or whatever it was back then in like the 80s. And seeing like Kevin Lebroni, I didn't even know who he was, but I just saw this guy and it looked unreal. I mean, I always thought it would be cool to look like that, but never ever aspired to be a bodybuilder. And man, I got in a relationship and it was the first time a girl cheated on me. I was depressed. I wasn't eating. I wasn't sleeping. I was losing a ton of weight. I mean, this is 20 years ago or so. But I needed to get out of town, man. And I got this opportunity to go work in Alaska and live out there for like a year. And while I was out there, I just remember just putting all my stuff away in my closet, and I shut the closet door. It was one of those sliding mirror doors. And I closed the door and I just saw myself in the mirror and I was like, you are a pathetic piece of crap. And I was like, I just knew I needed to do something. And I remember I went to this like, it was called Play It Again Sports. It was like used sports gear. And I bought a curl bar, I bought a little ab roller and a little barbell. And I would go back into my condo and I'd do like 100 or 300 push-ups, 300 crunches. I'd do curls and shoulder presses, like all I knew. And I'd go to work and I would do that for like a month. And I go to work and one of the contractors came in and he's like, dude, Dave, man, you look like you're getting bigger. And I'm like, for real, dude? He's like, yeah, you should join my gym with me. And I was like, absolutely. So we went and joined the gym. And the two guys that owned this gym, it was called Body Fitness or something like that in Anchorage, Alaska. They just took to me right away. They just saw like that I had something. And they took me under their wing. We'd shut the gym down at about 11 o'clock and I would just train with just the two owners. And this is before like the internet was big. And so they were giving me books on how to eat, how to train. And I was just soaking up this information. And within a year, I mean, I was just so immersed in it, because I was getting all these results and it made me feel great. I was gaining my confidence. And by the time I came back home, I remember my mother, she came and picked me up from the airport and she had to do a double take. She didn't even recognize me because I put on like 25 pounds of lean mass. I went from like 145 pounds to like 170 pounds in like a year or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's kind of noticeable.
Yeah, it was, I was like, people didn't recognize me. And so the first thing that I did when I went back home is I wasn't even looking for a new job or anything. It was, where do I find a gym? And it was Gold's Gym in Kirkland, Washington, right off the 405. I walked in and immediately saw a professional bodybuilder, and his name is Mark Dugdale. You guys might know him. And he kind of took me under his wing right away. And I ended up doing my first show after just 1 year of bodybuilding under my belt. I took 5th place out of 5 guys. And but that's kind of just where it started, and it was it set my life in a whole new direction. I mean, I met my wife at the gym. All these positive things came from bodybuilding. So I just never looked back because it was just a positive thing in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I got started. I never aspired to be a bodybuilder. It just kind of happened. And then I just kind of found out I was good at it and just kept going.
Yeah, so like whenever I would see bodybuilding magazines when I was younger, they looked like so ridiculous, like so far from like a normal person. Like that wasn't even realistic.
No.
It was never like, oh, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna do that.
Freaking cartoon.
Like I'm like a men's open bodybuilders are ridiculous. Like that's. So I was like, I just want to be strong instead. So I just did powerlifting stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I was always athletic, but I got injured before a powerlifting meet. I had like an inguinal strain where I was gonna have a hernia if I did my meet, and I was just set on competing in something. And I think it was like 2 weeks out from the powerlifting meet. I had to bail out, and this guy that worked the front desk at the gym didn't know anything about bodybuilding other than he had done a show, which means you don't know anything about bodybuilding. It was like, hey man, so there's this, and I powerlifted with this guy too. He's like, man, there's a contest in 23 days. If you want to do it, you come back tomorrow, sleep on it, you come back tomorrow, I'll go ahead and have you a diet written out. Like, he just wanted to see me do it. It wasn't like a normal coaching situation.
No.
So I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to get in my underwear with oil on and shave my body like this. This is not for me. But he was like, no, like sleep on it and come back. So I was like, all right. So I'm so bummed about bailing out of this powerlifting meet that I decided to try it at least.
Yeah.
So like my diet was, my breakfast was like egg whites, and then chicken and broccoli and sweet potatoes for every one of my other 5 meals. And just, dude, I didn't have a food scale. Like, I was kind of just winging it. He was like, hey, this guy's like, just eat a little less sweet potato every couple days. So I just did a 22-day diet.
Wow. And
jumped in this little Mr. Lake City bodybuilding contest, which it's a small show, but I won it out of 10 guys.
Yeah. Nobody's surprised.
So I'm like, you're like, I weighed like 171 pounds or something for this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, after that, I'm like, this is cool. I could do this like once a year.
Yeah.
And then I was like right back to powerlifting.
Yeah.
And then I did another year. I'm like, oh, I'll do another bodybuilding show. And I actually looked pretty decent for that.
Yeah.
And my contest preps used to be like 3 or 5 weeks. I had a tough warehouse job. Yeah. So like that got me shredded. So it was never like cardio involved in my prep. I just went to work and didn't eat much and like got in contest shape. But yeah, like as I got better at it, I'm like,
I could do this.
I'm done, like feeling like I got hit by a truck after powerlifting.
Yeah.
And I just like the bodybuilding training better.
Yeah.
And it was something that I could do year round instead of like having to pick a powerlifting meet.
Yeah.
And then you have to go through all the cycles and deload and like sometimes you push the weight up. So like,
but the strength training is kind of your roots, is what got you started in the whole thing. And what you might even attribute to how much mass you put on, or how much mass you put on initially.
Yeah, even as a kid, like
even as
14 years old, that's what I wanted to do. So from 14 to 20, I was just trying to powerlift and stuff.
And how much were you benching at 14 years old?
I don't know, man. I think on the end of 9th grade, I was like doing, I don't know, it's probably like mid 200s.
Yeah.
So, but then by the end of high school, I was like 420, 425
Jeez.
on bench. Weighed about 180 pounds. So, yeah.
Strength ratio is off the charts.
Yeah. We just won't talk about squat or deadlifts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like life does not stop once you have kids. You keep doing, you just naturally find a way instinctively to make it all work, and if whatever is your priority, you're gonna make those things work, but you're gonna be able to integrate family life into it. Life does not stop, and hopefully you got a good woman in your life that is someone that you can rely on too, and that supports your hobbies as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I
that
think
takes
you guys,
the load
it's
off.
like you guys already go into it as well as we all do. Like, it's not even an option to consider it not part of your day.
If you truly want something, you're gonna figure it out.
You're going to make it happen.
I don't even know that I could give you a structured daily plan of how to fit your bodybuilding.
Well,
it's just an instinctive thing.
For most people, though, if like whenever you're thinking about, hey, I have kids, so how am I going to get around to get into the gym?
Yeah.
Man, it doesn't have to be like 2 hours at a time.
Right.
It's not like you have to have some huge chunk of gym time. Like on the way to or from work, if you get an hour in, even if you get 45 minutes, if you go hard for 45 minutes, 5 days a week, you completely change what you look like.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's different. So even if somebody's not a professional athlete or bodybuilder or whatever,
it could even work to your advantage because you don't have 4 hours to spend dinking off at the gym. You got to prioritize your time, so it might make you more efficient. Might make you train a little bit harder as well. To get what you need to get in while you're in the gym and the time that you have.
And there's kid care at the gym. Lots of places, man. Like,
exactly.
There are just so many things you can do to work it in.
People
if you
have
just
kids.
Decide to do, if you just decide to do it. Yeah. Like as long as you're cool about it, like your family's gonna be supportive.
Absolutely, man.
So.
Yeah, I think the basic underlying message is the mindset too.
Just get it done.
You really
don't make excuses. Just because you got kids doesn't mean you can't bodybuild.
Yeah. 100%. I don't know what this applies to either you guys or somebody else.
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't matter. Best transformation case study you have ever seen.
Oh.
Either within yourself or with somebody else.
I had a client recently, close to 400 pounds. He signed up for coaching, and you're supposed to check in. You know how it goes. Check in every week with your weight, pictures, yada, yada. Give the guy the plan. Never hear from him again. I texted
And usually that means what?
yeah, he didn't like the plan. He thought, I don't know. And it actually made me feel like, dude, what did I do to this guy to piss him off? I tried to get a hold of him countless times, like, brother, what can I do to make this work? I just want to know how you're doing, you know. No response. Almost a year goes by, and he texts me. He said, hey, brother, I just wanted to reach out. I've been having, you know, been going through some rough things in my life. My mother died. There was some sickness in my family, and I've just had a lot on my plate. But I just want you to know the diet that you gave me is what got me through. And he lost 150 pounds, never veered off the diet one day. Sent me the transformation picture. And he went from like 410 pounds to like, I want to say like 256, and completely different person.
Yeah.
Looked like a bodybuilder. It was insane. It's probably the biggest transformation I've
That's
seen
awesome.
yet. Yeah.
Usually when you don't hear from somebody, they're not doing it.
Yeah.
It was they're not doing it.
It was a total opposite.
Yeah,
He
that's crazy.
never veered off one day.
That's a cool
And it
surprise.
blew me away, man.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's so cool to see what transformations can do to people's character, their personality, the success in their life even. You know, I mean, I remember watching like The Biggest Loser, just shows like that, and watching these people go from, you know, obese to fit, and how it just completely changes their entire character.
Jump on the middle. You sit over in the
Enter hub. Oh, I'm in the middle now, huh? All right.
Sorry, guys. Running a little behind.
Good.
Are we rolling?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I hope the jacket isn't too much of a distraction. It's